we'll just get straight into it. Could you just tell us your first name?
It's Mario.
Could you tell us a little bit about your childhood?
I was born in Guatemala. Um, then I remember that I went to Mexico with my grandma, and um, then from Mexico spent there maybe like a year. Then went to TJ for another year, I think, and then ended up crossing the border. Then I got caught. I was the only one. Then the rest of the family went through, and so I went through the system. Um, and there was this lady I remember that she took care of me for a couple of weeks while I was there, and uh, I just remember little things here and there, but that's about it. I mean, when you mean childhood, to like what age?
What sticks out to you in your childhood?
That, just leaving. I don't remember leaving my mother. Um, I kind of remember being in Mexico and then in TJ and then crossing the border and then getting over here to the projects. That's what I remember. Then going to school and not knowing the language and uh, growing up and my mom not being here, going to school and, uh, you know, uh, they would say that you do your homework. I'd be like, yeah, yeah, but that thing wasn't done. So uh, just, stuff like that.
Did you have any dreams as a child?
Um, no, no. Um, I guess I didn't have a guidance, a proper guidance, to like you can be whatever you want, or nobody asked me, what did I want to be or none of that stuff. So, yeah.
Did you have any goals or any maybe basic needs that you thought of, like something?
No, just you know, growing up and uh, like with the family and my other cousins, I think they got treated better than myself and my aunts.
Do you mind telling us about your relationship with your dad or lack thereof and how that played?
Um, I guess my mother and my dad they got married, and then a year later they got separated. Um, I spoke to him once back in like 2000, and then after that, you know, he said he was gonna call back, and he didn't. And then like by the time he did, I just didn't want to do anything with him anymore. So um, he's tried to reach out recently, um, but there's no point. I'm already 36. I don't see the point of meeting somebody that was never there. He tried talking to me through Facebook, so I blocked his ass. So, um, you know, um,
How does that
that's
feel, honestly?
nothing. I didn't feel anything. More annoyed than anything else. Um, some people say that I might need closure, but um, I think I don't feel that I need closure in that part. It was never there, so there's nothing I could miss. But maybe if I remember him, but you know, it's like he was never there, so I don't need closure.
What about growing up? Did you ever think about him?
Yeah, you know, I guess in before I guess 2000 and stuff like that, my my grandparents from my dad's side, like they would send me pictures, letters, Um, so when they passed away, that kind of hurt, because they actually tried making a connection. But
What about the relationship with your mom and how that felt?
um, I guess because, like I said, um, my grandma took me from Guatemala to Mexico, and I don't remember like that, leaving my mother. And um, I feel there's a there's not a connection or that motherly love, I guess, that I could feel that it's like love, like I don't know. It's hard to explain. Um, yeah.
So your birth mom is still in.
No, my mom's here now. Um, she came like years after I was here, and you know, she did help me like with my school stuff. Like she paid a little bit more attention than my grandma did. Um, she actually watched me like do my homework and help me do my homework, and she helped me back in 1st grade because I wasn't doing shit and nobody paid attention. So yeah.
What'd you learn from your parents, good or bad?
Um, well, my mom always saw her like being a strong woman, um, hard worker, um, always try to help other people, um, and um, she tried to maintain a stable relationship, so I wouldn't be like bouncing around and this and that. So that you know.
Could you tell us about your first love and how that felt? It's whatever you associate as your first love, so it can be a person, it can be a hobby, it can be
Um,
anything.
my first love actually was that I felt that what love was, I guess. It was a little puppy, a little dog. Um, it just felt and like real, like the dog just comes to you and loves you, um, doesn't lie to you or none of this stuff. So that
How did that feel for you?
felt nice.
What about your first loss or heartbreak? And it's the same thing, whatever you associate as your first loss or heartbreak.
I don't think I really have had one. Um, um, my grandparents just passed away, but um, my great grandparents just passed away, but I didn't feel anything. Um, for my grandpa, I did. Um, I felt like that he was gone and I wasn't going to see him anymore. Um, so that hurt a little bit. Um, but nothing like devastating. Not yet.
Who would you say first taught you what love is and how?
Say that again.
Who taught you first what love is and how?
Oh, nobody did. I felt that that was missing. Um, even to now, like me saying like I love my mother, this and that. I think it's hard. I think she knows that. I told her a couple years ago how I felt, and um, that I didn't have that connection, you know. Um, and she just kind of like told me the story, what happened, how I ended up leaving her, this and that. It wasn't meant for me to leave her. My grandma just kind of like said, "Oh, like Maria se quiere ir," like and then he's like, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead, take him," but not like take him forever, you know. And that's how I ended up over here.
How do you define love?
Well, I think love is just, um, it's unexplainable, um, and it could hurt, and it could be the best thing that ever can happen to somebody, and it could be the worst thing that could happen to you if it's like a heartbroken, So it goes both ways, good and bad.
Briefly, how do you describe it? Like emotionally, how does it feel?
It could be a roller coaster. It could be the best thing that happens to you. It could be the worst thing.
What's a good day look like for you?
Good day. Um, every day is a good day. As long as I get up and um, I choose how it's gonna be good or bad. You know, it's up to you how your day goes. So that means a good day is getting up. That's a good day already.
What about a bad day?
Hmm. A bad day. I guess a bad day was getting a message from a friend saying that she has cancer. That was a bad day. Yeah, that was a bad day.
How do you deal with a bad day like that?
Um, just thought about it. That it sucked, and um, just try to be there for the person. That's about it. Not much you could do, but try to support them in any way you can.
How do you support yourself during those days?
Huh. Ooh. I guess I try not to think about things too much. This way, out of mind, out of sight. So, yeah.
What's a person or an event that's shaped you, good or bad?
Um, recently I had to, kind of tell my mother that I was using drugs, and it was time for me to quit so I could move forward. I could say that it wasn't affecting me, but I guess if I feel that I needed to stop using it in some way, it was affecting me, you know. Um, so that has been a change. Yeah.
Do you want to go into more detail about that in general?
It's I I I know that I had to quit, you know, um, but I needed kind of like to tell my mother because I felt that if I needed help, she would be there, you know. Um, she always tells me like, I love you no matter what. Like I'm your mother. I'll always be there, and that's true. Nobody's gonna be there but your mother. Um, your friends won't be there when shit goes down. You know, um, like my cousin, he ended up in jail, and I told him to. If you end up in jail, I'm not gonna visit you. It's you. You got yourself there. Nobody's gonna be there but your mom and dad. And um, I know if I do something stupid, you know, gotta pay the consequences.
What made you want to be honest to your mom about your drug addiction?
That I needed. It was. I was listening to the radio, and they were talking. They were preaching, right, the word, and the guy said something about that something was holding me back, and once I let it out and I told the world, then my life was gonna move forward. Until then, I was gonna be stuck in the same place, and I felt that was God reaching out to me, um, but in a spiritual way. It was like an awakening. Um, it was pretty amazing because I always wanted to feel that, like God actually calling you or trying to talk to you in a message, and that was it. You know, I started crying because it felt so good. um, so that's how that happened, and I knew that that was what was holding me back, and I needed to tell her. And when I told her, it felt really good, you know. And before I told my mother, I was driving an Uber, uh, and there was a nun that I had picked up, and I was talking to her about, you know, um, like me telling my mother, or about something else, and she said, "Well, what do you think your mother's gonna say once you tell her?" And that, no matter what, she loved me and she was gonna be there for me. And that's exactly what she said. You know, um, she wasn't mad or anything. It was just more uh, that I had her support. You know,
Did that feel like love? That moment?
I felt like my mother being there. Yeah. Um, yeah. I guess you would say that.
What's inspired you?
In what way?
in any way?
What's in, um, I guess reading books and listening to like somebody, talking about the word on the radio and just giving positive messages, um, how you can change your life just by doing certain things and um, just stuff like that, that you can apply in your daily life. Um, Setting goals and you can accomplish anything in life as long as you make a plan and you write it down and you follow the steps. Um, Without a plan, you're not going to go anywhere, basically.
What's been a humbling experience for you? How did that experience feel?
Humbling. You know, I think I'm, I guess I consider myself humble. Um, I try to talk to like the homeless because sometimes they just need somebody to say hello or hey, how was your day? Um, you know, so I think sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. So, and life could just end, the next day. So, just I guess appreciate everything.
When you do have a conversation with a homeless person, what part of that exactly humbles you?
You know, you never know what somebody's going through. Um, and when you talk to them, sometimes you can, give them an advice and you can help them see things a different way or you see things that and what they're going through, you know. Um, and everybody's a different world, their mind. Um, just, you know, it's, it feels good, you know, that you can listen to somebody and you can change the way they see things or you change the way you see things. It's, it opens up your world.
So this next question, you go in your mind and think this life event can be mental, physical, or spiritual. Can you tell us about a time in your life that you can relate with the word war?
Hmm. Well, me personally, just friends, that um, I've gone to war, and they come back, you know, uh, maybe not 100% mentally or physically, and just proud that they went and served this country, and it's hard for me to understand sometimes their pain that like they don't talk about. Um, that, yeah.
Same type of question. Go in your mind and think this life event can be mental, physical, or spiritual. Tell me about a time in your life that you can relate to the word peace.
Peace. Hmm. I think now I'm at peace. I feel moving forward, it's just everything just taking small steps to whatever I want. And I'm I mean I'm happy, but I want to be more happy. You know, I'm not. Um, I'm happy. I guess where I'm at. But I'm not like I'm not unhappy, but I want to be better. I guess I don't know if that makes sense.
What are the things you're doing for the better?
Well, um, that's kind of complicated to answer that question because I was planning on I'd called a friend and told him that I was going to go to Tennessee, right? And I told him I would give him an answer like in a week. And like that next day, that's when my friend told me she had cancer. And then I felt like uh, that I couldn't leave, right? Um, so I'm still like, you know, um, like I was planning on leaving, but then that happened. So I'm like, kind of like hurting at the same time, you know? It's like I've had other people like be sick or get cancer, and it just, to me, it didn't. I was like, okay, Um, it didn't affect me, my personal life. But now I feel that it has. Um, so now it hurts.
What do you think about that moment with God, right? You had a revelation, an awakening, a spiritual moment with something greater than yourself. Does that scare you a little bit?
No, because I always wanted it. Feel what when people say, "Oh, I had a spiritual awakening from God," and it's like I always wonder how that felt. I heard like Pacquiao had his awakening when he was running through the bushes, and it changed his life around. He stopped gambling, womanizing, and all this stuff. He just changed his whole life around, and um, to know that I had that with God, and God actually reached out to me in that moment while I was driving, listening to the radio, and I could, ask Him 100 times before that, but He never said hello. And then this time I'm driving, and it's like, hey Mario, give me a call. This is what you got to do,
Mm-hmm.
And your life is gonna change. So that was cool. Actually reached out. So um,
Does that give you an extra level of peace in your life moving forward?
Yeah, most definitely. The moment I told my mother, um, and knowing that, you know, like God was telling me, like, hey, this is what you have to do, you know, um, which was kind of cool.
How did that feel exactly? Like if you could describe it as much as just as you
Yeah,
can, the feeling, not the
the feeling,
yeah, like that you had
it's,
inside of you when you were like, shit, this is God talking. This is what I got to do.
it's, it's mind blowing at the same time. Um, you just so much emotion going through your body, and you start crying from joy, you know, and to have a feeling of awakening, and to know that there's this energy just, that you feel that it's going through your body. That's all I can explain. Just it's an energy more of a thing that you just feel.
Could you tell us about the hardest thing you've been through in your life, how it felt, and how you endured?
Mm. Um, I think the hardest thing it would be losing somebody that close to me, and it hasn't happened. So have asked people how do they deal with a loss of someone that they love, and because when that happens, I want to know how to deal with it. And they say only time will heal that kind of pain. So,
What's been the most difficult time in your life?
most difficult time in my life. I think being in this country and growing up and knowing that it doesn't want you because you're not a citizen, and um, getting fired from my job, say because you're not a USA citizen, you can't work here. That was hard. Um, that was really hard. Um, it was hard because I felt that I wasn't here by my choice. I was brought here, and you know, and I'm here, and then this country doesn't want you. It's kind of like, what do you do? Um, so that hurt.
Do you still feel like that?
No, no. I got my worker's permit and this and that. Um, so you know that changed the way I felt a lot. Um, and when I got fired this last time, it actually felt good. I was like, I didn't do anything wrong, so thank you. It's something better's coming, and it was time to move on. And hey, I had been there 10 years. I had learned just about everything, and I'm happy that I was there, and the things that I learned, you know. Um, so I'm grateful for that.
What's a truly joyous moment in your life?
Being with family, barbecue, being at my uncle's house and being around with the family and the, you know, the kids running around. I could only take that for so much though. But, just being with the family um, at dinner or like Thanksgiving and everybody just having a good time and enjoying themselves.
What keeps you up at night?
My dogs. No, mm, nothing much really. I try not to overthink things. Mm, you can't change things that are not in your control. You can only change the things that you're in control, and then that's 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 on you. you know, don't do those things.
What keeps you going every day?
Mm. I guess that I have a bigger purpose in life, and that um, now that I I taking that step forward and changing the things that I need to change, that I'm going to be somebody, you know, and I know I will, and it's up to me. Um, and I wish that I would have known some of the things that I know now than when I was like a kid, of setting goals and you know, um, like going to school and how all that stuff really important to be successful in life. But then success doesn't mean like having money or this and that. So I think sometimes people get confused about what success is, or to me, success is um, having providing for a family and knowing that they have good morals and everybody's together. Because you could have all the money and your kids are in jail doing drugs and this and that. So are you really successful? No, because then money doesn't mean anything. If you know,
What does being somebody look like to you?
being somebody is that being able to help others, um, help others, help your family, um, give them a better lifestyle that I had, but not just give it. Teach them the right way of there's a right way of giving it than just handing it out. I guess um, teaching them, you know, uh, how to be, how to get it themselves. I guess.
Imagine you're in the hospital today with only hours to live. What would be your regrets, if any?
wouldn't have any regrets because um, I try to do things with people that I care, that I love, tell them that I love them when they're alive, because if they die, then it's too late. So I don't go to funerals because of that reason. It's like there's like what I was gonna do, I was gonna do when you were alive. When you're dead, you're dead. You know, it's too late then.
You said as a kid you didn't really have dreams. Do you have any dreams now?
Yeah, yeah. Um, being being wealthy and being able to help others and take care of my immediate family and um, just having having free time to do whatever I want. Being my own boss, you know. Um, yeah. So that.
You're the co-author of your life story. What's your picture perfect ending? It's not the end. It's just how you would envision like a picturesque scene.
Um, Knowing that I, you know, just knowing that I came from a very, I guess, like low income kind of, and then being here, you know, like picking up like cans from the trash can, jumping in the trash cans and picking up cans, even to where I'm at right now. It's you know, I feel that even now I'm doing a lot better. I feel that I know that I'm going to be even more. So my perfect ending would be would be leaving, having changed people's lives in a positive way, and being able to help others that I know that I impacted their lives in a positive way. That would make me happy. That would be my ending.